Hello everybody. This will be more of my weekly or bi-weekly, bi-monthly update that I usually do. This is Brenda at Handwork Maniac. And I'll show you what I worked on this week and what my plans are for 2020. I have such a mess in here now after the last two videos. Okay, if you'll recall, I showed you this a few weeks ago. My board of all my whips. And I had a stack over here of stuff that I was hoping to finish by the end of the year. I had two others sitting over here. I had French alphabet sitting over here. I had, where is it? Churchyard Christmas over here. Oh, and I had Victorian Christmas over here. These two were down here like this. I forgot to tell you about them last time. They were just two that I was thinking maybe I would like to work on in December. I did work on Churchyard Christmas. I did not work on Victorian Christmas. So it was one that was supposed to be over here in Craft Prison. I really have 4 in Craft Prison, not 3. And I did not get to French alphabet by the end of the year. Oh, and I had Victorian Charm on my list over here. So of these 5 that I was trying really hard to finish by the end of the year, I finished 4 of them, and not Victorian Charm. So Victorian Charm goes back over into my weekly rotation. But I was able to finish these 4. The Temperature Garden that I was using for my headaches, Shepherd's Fold, Let It Snow, and Wild Salt Air. So those can all go down here. I cross them out and I turn them upside down and I put them down here at the bottom so I can reuse those magnets. So here are my current whips. This is my current rotation, which I'll show you in a minute. These are 3 that are going to be done soon. They're the January, February, and March. January, February, March, and April assignments from Mania. They'll get done during those months. Oh, we just about lost March. These over here are just ones that are in current whips that I'll get to them soon. They're not in this month's plan, but I'll get to them eventually. And these are ones that were class pieces and have a lot of specialty stitches in them that have to be worked on during the day. That will eventually get into my rotation. So just wanted to give you an update on how much I was able to finish by the end of the year, of the plan that I showed you. I just did my video of my current whips that I'm bringing into 2020, and there were 2 I forgot to show you. This one got lost in the bottom of the box, so I didn't see it. It was a Mania start. It's called Red Door by Elizabeth's Designs, part of the Little Leaf Designs. I started it for Mania. It'll be my February kind of focus piece, and I'll finish that in February. It's just little. This is how much I was able to get done during Mania. Just part of the door. And then this one got slid over in the pile, and I forgot to show you. Morning Has Broken by Catherine Theron. I was working on this on Sunday nights, but it also has a lot of specialty stitches in it and a lot of things that I needed to, some colors I needed to change as I was going. So it was a little too complicated for me to think that hard on Sunday nights. Sundays are a busy day for me, and I only just have an hour or 2 to stitch in the evening. And this is where it is so far. It is a gorgeous piece. But as I'll tell you in a minute, I'm not going to work on it on Sunday nights anymore. It'll have to probably wait until after Peaceable Kingdom is finished to get back into my rotation. So those were the 2 I forgot to show you in the whip parade. Sorry. But now you've seen all of them. All right, this for January, you know how I always change I always have my favorite pair of scissors that I use, but I love to change the fob on it for the month. So for January, I'm going to use this one. Has a little pair of scissors at the bottom, and it has these beautiful kind of icy blue and white and silver colors in it. This was a gift from Jordan at Stitch West, a retreat I was at in October. So thank you, Jordan. I'm going to enjoy them all month. Okay, January 1st, new starts. Took me a while to decide what I was going to do. So like a week and a half before January 1st, I finally realized if I didn't make a decision and make sure I had purchased everything I needed, I would not be able to start it on January 1st. So I sat down that day and was looking around and saw this one and decided I really wanted to start this for January 1st. It's Victorian Sampler Beach Cottage. Cute, cute design. Silks, specialty stitches, a few. Not very many, just a few. Beautiful piece. Not your typical Victorian Sampler. I didn't even realize she has this little series of houses. Didn't order it fast enough. Could have made it by December 31st, maybe was their guess, but it didn't. It didn't come until January 2nd. So by the time it came on January 2nd, I kind of changed my mind and decided I didn't want to start it. So I'm going to save this and probably do it as a Mania start in May. But I did start that I just showed you in the whip parade. I started this one on January 1st. It's Autumn Saltboxes by Plum Street Samplers, and it's this number 2 one over here. I'm going to make it into a little pin cushion. I've done this. I worked on it on the 1st and the 2nd and got the house done. So it's about halfway done already. It's going to be a little pin cushion pillow to finish up my basic sewing kit, which is in Craft Prison, which we'll get it out of Craft Prison. And it is on... oh dear. I'll have to figure out what fabric I put it on. Oh, Autumn Field. It's on Silkweaver 40 count Autumn Field. And it had an over 1 part right here, this little fan or decoration, whatever it is. And yes, I had to do that over 1 on 40 count. I'm glad it was just little. I did 10 stitch. So that was what I worked on for, I love how they say it in Great Britain, the 1st of the 1st. That was what I worked on the 1st of the 1st. First day of the 1st month. And then after working on all of those things, so for the last several months, I have been working really hard on finishing stockings, finishing the last few of my Stitch 9 I was trying. So to be done with all of those and to now go to several pieces that I started in May but haven't seen since, some pieces that have really were being ignored this last 6 months, has been so fun to go back to those. It was almost like brand new pieces that I was starting, but didn't have to do all the work of starting it because it had already been started. So that was really fun. I also, on January 1st, pulled out this Ambassadeur Bertha DuPont, 1913. Worked on that. I was able to finally finish this part of the border and it connected up great. Catherine, we kept teasing Catherine that it was not gonna, because she did most of the border for me, that it was not gonna match up, but it did perfectly. And then I worked on this, finished up this bird motif and started on this greenery here. This is still available to purchase. I'll put it in the description box below. It's by Oh, Marie Francois. I'll put a link in the description box. It's a French designer. I changed the greens to completely different color greens, and I also added this light yellow color in place of the taupe tan that was going to be there. So I've added a color, changed the greens. I think the rest is the same. And yes, this was the one where I started with some really old greens. The dye lot has changed for DMC. Then we ran out of the old skeins, used them all up, bought new skeins. They didn't match. I told you guys about it. You all sent me, you were so nice and sent me all of your old DMC floss. It was fabulous. So now we have enough to finish it. And I'm hoping to finish that this year. It's on 28 count even weave, 2 strands, DMC. It's easy to work on. It's usually my plane project if I fly anywhere. It's easy to see if I don't have very good lighting. It's been a very easy piece to work on, and it's so pretty. I love the colors. The Victorian Charm will be my new, I'm going to do it. It'll be my new 30-minute challenge. I usually have a piece where I work on it the first 30 minutes when I sit down to stitch every day, just a piece that needs to get moved along. So I think that's what I'll do with Victorian Charm. It's so close to finish. I was hoping to finish it by the end of the year, but didn't. So I have not worked on it since December 31st. I was taking a break from it. But that's what I'll do with that one. And hopefully it will be finished in the next month or two doing that. It's a Dimensions kit on the dark blue 18 count aida that came with the kit and the kit threads. And I just have a little bit to finish on these windows, and then there's a bunch of flower garden down here, and then the greenery of the trees over here. Very close. It has been fun to work on and is a beautiful piece. So I'm looking for a finish on that one in January or February. Band of Roses is going to be my new Sunday night piece because it is easy piece for me to work on. I don't have to think very hard, and it's such a gorgeous piece. It is by Cross Stitch Antiques, and it's called Band of Roses 1845 Antique Sampler. It is a reproduction sampler. I am doing the called for DMCs except for this top part that's all in this dark blue. I think it was 823. It wasn't covering well enough for me, so I switched that to an Avera Soie 1416, which is almost the exact same color. 40 count Lakeside Maritime White Linen, 1 strand over 2 threads. And it still looks just the same as the last time you saw it. I haven't worked on it since, but I will be working on it on Sunday nights. And I still need to rip out part of this eye that I totally messed up and fix it. It will be quite large. This is a stitch along I'm doing with Linda in California and anyone else who would like to join us, but a very leisurely stitch along. So that will be fun. Words to Live By is almost finished. It was a monthly mystery stitch along with Tiny Modernist that I started last January. Been working on it all year. I have kept up and was able to finish each square every month when they came out. I did not do December square because I was working so hard to finish the ones I wanted to finish by the end of the year. So I have December square to work on, and then the last square will come January 15th. And then so this should be finished somewhere last part of January. And then this will be finished. It's on black even weave, which I think is a 32 count. I have thoroughly enjoyed working on this year. I love the colors. Oh, that's washing out. Is that better? They're like sherbet colors on this black. Such a pretty piece. It has been a lot of fun. You can still purchase the charts PDF download from Tiny Modernist on Etsy. Fun. I don't know. I didn't even look to see if they're having a stitch along this year and what it is. I should go check. Maybe I shouldn't go check because then maybe I'll want to do it. I am planning on doing, this was a Mania start that I haven't seen since May. Long Dog Samplers, Day and Night. Beautiful piece. I love all the little houses and trees that are around the border. They do repeat the patterns of the houses, but they're always a different color when they repeat. So I love that. Hopefully that won't be as bad as of a repetitive border for me. I really don't enjoy repetitive borders. I love borders. I love the way they look. I always choose these patterns with these fabulous borders and then realize as I'm stitching it that I just can't handle it anymore. I don't like repetition. I pulled this out and worked on it yesterday. So much fun. I finished this house and this tree and did a little bit more on the church steeple. Love my little fairy door needle minder. This is on Picture This Plus Valor, 40 count Valor fabric, one strand of the called for DMC. This is going to be my new Thursday piece. I'm going to work on this on Thursdays. And I also pulled out, this was also a Mania start, Long Dog Samplers Arcade. It is a, in my mind, it's a forest of trees. But every tree is different. There is no repetitive border. This band right here is repetitive. It's the same all the way down, but there's enough variation in it that it's not bothering me. Love this design, just love it. It says, cares of tomorrow can wait until this day is done. And then it has an alphabet that runs along the bottom. I'm doing it on 40 count conifer. Picture This Plus conifer. Here's what it's looking like so far. Yesterday I was able to do a little bit more of this repetitive strip that runs across. And then I also came down and finished this other squirrel over here to match this squirrel, this heart a little bit down here, and then I came down and did this flower in a pot, I guess is what that is. I'm doing this with Silks for You. I bought 2 hanks of Silks for You to do this piece. I love how it was kind of an experiment with this dark fabric and this highly variegated thread silk. I am loving how it's turning out. Just loving it. This is one of the Silks for You colors. It's gold and green and brown, yellow. And then this is the other Silks for You color. Kind of a light green, fern green, sage green, sage green. One strand over 2 fabric threads. So enjoying this piece. This is going to be my new Tuesday piece. I'm going to work on this every Tuesday. Oh, here it is. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my focus piece for the month is usually my Mania piece assigned to that month. And my fun everyday calendar. What did I do with it? I moved it for Christmas, and I'm sure put it somewhere really safe. I moved it out of its, oh, there it is. Hang on. I was going to redo your view behind me and forgot. It's still the Christmas stuff. This is my fun everyday calendar, Perpetual Calendar by SamSarah. I started it 4 years ago. It took me 2 years to finish it, I think. Finished it 2 years ago. I've loved it. I used to have it at work, but I don't have room in my office anymore, so I brought it home. Love this calendar. You have to buy 12 leaflets to finish it. There's kind of a monthly leaflet. It gives you all the days of the week. It gives you a card for every month, which still says November 30th. Then it gives you all the numbers to do the days. And then it gives you a few seasonal cards and a couple of weather cards. This is kind of the for fun category down here. I decided I wanted to have one of these for, they're like holidays, but there wasn't one for every month. So I wanted one for every month so that I could change this every month. Or change it to the weather ones. There's a snow one and a rain one. So I wanted to add a few more. I added a couple of cards when I finished it originally so that I could have one for every month, but I was still missing one for January and March. But at the time I just wanted it to be done and was sick of working on it. So for Mania last year I started a card for January and a card for March. Just designs that I usually find a design from something else and then adapt it. And it still says November. I need to fix it. So this is, I started this during Mania. This is January's card. They're on perforated paper. And this will be March's card. So I'll finish the January card in January. That will be my Monday, Wednesday, Friday piece. Here's one of the leaflets so you can see what it looks like. This is September's. So it gives you like a holiday card for September, the September month. Probably another day of the week, a couple more numbers. And then what I did for these two cards, I didn't do this for the other ones that I made myself, but for these two, I found these Bent Creek Spring Arches patterns are very similar in size to what I needed. And they were going to work out perfectly. So I'm going to do this bird nest one right here for March. Because March is kind of just muddy here, but there are a lot of birds singing in March. And then for the January card, I'm going to do this cozy little house in the snow. Because that's usually what I'm doing in January, is hold up in my house stitching. So I adapted those to fit on the card. They all have the same border on them, so I put the border on that is on all the cards, and then I'll do a background that matches the rest of one of the rest of the cards. They all have different backgrounds, so I'll choose one of those other backgrounds and put that in the background. So that will be my Monday, Wednesday, Friday piece until it's finished. Which brings us back to the magnet board. So here's my planned rotation for January. Victorian Charm is the 30 minutes every day piece. I will work on the January calendar little perforated paper card until it's finished. And then, oh, sorry, this moved. Victorian Charm will be the 30 minutes every day until it's done, and then it's going to switch to this French alphabet. That will be my new 30 minutes every day piece. The Monday, Wednesday, Friday focus piece will be the January calendar card until it's finished, and then I'm going, oh, and also Words to Live By. That will be the, once I'm finished with this, I'll switch to Words to Live By and get that finished. Arcade will be the Tuesday piece. Day and Night will be the Thursday piece. Saturday is going to be Peaceable Kingdom, because I need to have daytime to work on that. It's got some specialty stitches and it's got complicated directions. It takes me more brain power to work on that. So I'll work on that on Saturdays, and I also want to do, I was doing this a little bit last year and then got out of the habit because I was trying to finish some stuff by the end of the year. I'd like to do 400 stitches on my full coverage pieces every week, and I usually get that done on Saturdays. So I'll work on Peaceable Kingdom at least for a couple of hours. Then I'm going to work on my Disneyland full coverage piece and my A Stitcher's Shelf full coverage piece, probably maybe 200 on one and 200 on the other. That's a 10 by 10 square because I work in 10 by 10 squares. So that's two 10 by 10 squares on the one and two 10 by 10 squares on the other one. So I do that on Saturday as well, so that those can see some progress and move along. And then Sunday will be Band of Roses. I like to kind of do days of the week rotation. So that will be my, if you're interested, that's my rotation for January's plan so far. And then I have one other thing. I started a new start on the 1st of the 1st, that little pincushion. I'll also work on that. I don't even have that on here. I didn't even make a magnet for that yet. That's not going to take very, that's just going to take a couple more days to finish. I might have that be my Monday, Wednesday, Friday piece until it's finished. And then the other two. I was planning on starting two things on the 1st of the 1st, but the one didn't come in the mail. So then I thought, well, I'll just start something when it gets here. And then when it got here, I decided I didn't want to start it. But the thing I really want to start is the Linen and Threads. Linen and Threads does a gorgeous stitch along. Free download stitch along every year. Since 2017, and they are gorgeous. You probably saw the one from last year. It had a big peacock in the middle. Several people were working on that. Well, for 2020, they're doing a Quaker type sampler, and the first section always comes out on the first day of the month. So January section is already out, and it's just free. You just go to their website. If you Google linen and threads, you'll find their website, and you'll find their stitch along page, and you can just download the pattern for free. And all of their other ones from 17, 18, and 19 are also available if you want to download those. They also have I know that on Fiber Talk, they interviewed them once, the designers for Linen and Threads. I'm not sure if they have a YouTube channel or not. Probably do, and I don't even know. But I really want to start that. I just can't decide. I'm having a hard time deciding what color I want to use. I want to do silk on 40 count. I just need to choose a color and a fabric. So I'm still working on that. So I might start that. Not sure where that's going to fit in my rotation, but I would love to start that. I think it's going to be gorgeous. And I think that's all my plans so far. I kind of just do a monthly plan. Oh, and I told you in my planner video that I had made a list of 10 pieces, kind of my Stitch 10 challenge for the year, of things I would like to finish in 2020. Those are mostly old whips that I would like to have done. A couple of things that are newer, but mostly old. And I did not bring that list down here, so I will tell you that maybe in a couple weeks when I do my whip next video. Thank you for hanging on for 3 videos. You're probably not going to watch them all on the same day like I made them all on the same day. You'll probably space them out, but I appreciate everyone who comments, and it's just been a great year. I've really enjoyed Flosstube and all the people I have met. It's a great way to stay connected with all your stitchy friends. And thanks for being here, and I hope you have a fabulous January, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.